mission requires 5 people as well. So that's kind of where we're looking at like the bigger numbers. But no, that is not involving teachers.
And is it just assumed that every classroom is open for a game? Do you need to sign up and volunteer the classroom for a game?
No, the classrooms are available, but we typically don't have the 4th and 5th grade just because it's such a long walk to get down there. So we typically do these around the media center, and we don't often do maternity. So it's really kind of centering all of the activity in this area, in the gym and cafeteria.
We'll have the cornhole right here, just at the entrance of the 5th grade, but it won't be.
So I guess just like centralize everything, it'd be easier, Rebecca, to use like the teacher staff to do the summer meetings, or it'd be
Oh, no, that is second Jean's second. Yeah, and I'm sure you'd like it all central.
Yeah, that'll be great. Yeah, I can send that out to you. Thank you. Any other Carnival question?
Real quick about the baskets. I know that we can't do actual alcohol, but if I could do alcohol branded stuff, I might be able to get some stuff. You might be able to get some stuff if that's. I realize we're at a school, and so it's
it gets a little tricky. We can accept. The district has landed on, we are a town full of breweries. And so having the idea that no brewery logo can be in the school doesn't actually work for our town. So they kind of landed on, as long as it doesn't actively encourage drinking, that we can have logos. So if the logo is like people smiling with a beer stein, that's off the table. As long as it's like the logo, then that's why. Yeah, so as long as it's not like actually actively promoting the people, then.
Are we able to do, because it could be an auction thing, so we're doing auction, it's completely off-site this year, and so it's just gonna be online for people to bid online. So.
PTOs are still under the district umbrella, yeah.
Okay.
So it wouldn't, you can still have, gift cards to a pub or brewery because there's food as well. So that's okay, but we couldn't have, it still is under the sort of umbrella.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay.
Right, the camera's going to be right in my face. So, hi everyone. So like Elena kind of mentioned, at the next playground committee meeting, we're going to rediscuss a couple of numbers to propose to the general meeting in March instead of today, just because we were all trying to understand the budget. So I know we said we were going to bring a couple of things today, but we're just going to have one more discussion about it before we do that. And the next meeting is on Wednesday, the 12th at 5 p.m. at the downtown library in room 1 upstairs. If you go upstairs and turn right, it's in there, or you can join by Zoom. Just send me an email and I can give you the link or the meeting link to come in on Zoom. And then wanted to give a little bit more updates today. We're waiting to make final design requests from the vendor on a few things. I'm meeting with Central Oregon Disability Support Network on Thursday after school at the playground to get their feedback, and I've sent them the design we have right now. We're also waiting on the school district to get back to us on specifics for the standardizations they're working on to make sure that we're in line with that. And then Jesse's working on a form to request changes. So those are the 3 main things that we're waiting on to tweak and finalize the design we have. And then other happenings, meeting with DR Horton Home Builders. They're interested in supporting this project, so that will be late February sometime. I'm hoping Jesse might be able to attend once I get the date, but we'll see, and anyone else who might be interested. And we're going to apply for a Les Schwab grant that's due by the end of this month when we get that paperwork. And then we've started a list of potential funders and grants that Elena made a fancy spreadsheet for us. So whenever we get to the point where we can launch into that, we'll have a running list to get started with. And let's see, we're thinking about making a poster board to have up at events and creating a website. And we have a donation button on the PTO website right now. If you donate through there, the square fees do come out of your donation. You can give us check or cash to avoid that fee being taken out if you prefer. I think that's all I have for today. Any questions on any of that? Thank you for listening.
Okay, so we don't have any unfinished business from last month, so we're gonna move on to new business. As I stated earlier, we are looking for a treasurer or a secretary. The next one would be, oh, you're doing volunteer. Okay.
So,
Yeah, go for it.
so there's a sign up over there, or if you're online and you're interested, let us know. We were thinking about creating committees for classified staff week, teacher appreciation week, and conferences, spring conferences for like meal and snack planning, working with Jeff and health and guidance, but planning food and meals. And I know I talked to Isidra about maybe doing a meal for friends, so maybe that will happen. I don't know if she's looking.
I already had the word, we already have a menu.
So there's at least that started, and I'm willing to help coordinate and too. But if parents are, if that sounds fun to you and interesting, please sign up.
Last year, I remember one of our tour review towns happened to fall on conferences. And that was part of what I was in my pizza, we ended up ordering pizzas, and that might be kind of, not just for you.
Yeah.
Yes, it's something.
We did, but we also because it was pizza and it kind of like sit there.
Yeah,
We got money back, but we also like a lot of the pizza was not even say warm.
Okay.
So it just depends on
But
what,
yeah, it sounds like
what tour
depending
of town we
yeah,
have.
but it would be if we get to choose two of the candidates.
I did not think about it because we could have done Panda Express. So we missed it by a week. And I was
dang,
so
okay.
mad when we did Panda from the teachers. I just wanted to ask them like, can you link it?
Yeah, right.
So, but now that I know that,
Yeah.
I agree.
Some of them you can schedule like not pizza, but other ones like Fire on the Mountain, like hey, let us know. But non pizza, we have one scheduled that we could add.
Okay, so we have a quick question for you guys. We, as far as the giving tree goes, we raised a lot of like games and gift cards and whatever else that she collected. Perla, we reached out to her, and she does not need what we have that's left over. And so our question to you guys, we have some gift cards. I think there's like Walmart gift cards and Fred Meyer gift cards, I believe. What would you guys like to do with that? Do you want to save it for next year, for the giving tree next year to give to them, or what do you guys want to do with
Let me
that stuff?
give you an update. Walmart, Lovely, and my mostly friendly. One level.
So last year we did secret bingo night and we used a lot of the gifts that we have saved up that we have left over. We use them for prices instead of still going and buy them. We use whatever we have left over. And when we go to the night, we also do the same thing. In the gift cards, bottled water, whatever. So we use them too. So we always use whatever was left over. We use them for prices.
Is that fine with everyone? It's fine with that going back to our school and games and whatnot?
I mean, I have a concern with like Christmas stuff that was supposed to go to needy
Right.
families to be used as prizes
Right,
for school events.
right.
Like, I think if we don't do it with the charity that we were gonna go with, the cat that beat up with the cat.
Perla.
Perla, if she
Yeah.
doesn't, looking at other charities or saving it until next Christmas and then we're far ahead.
Yeah. They'd be fine with that.
But we kind of benefit the school, like all the gift cards like Walmart, like that. Groups to the class supply. And still potentially impacting the kids who are right. Or say,
Yeah. I was saving them for next year.
If, how do we go about like if a student needs, I know that I just, my son's teacher, well, if it's needs gloves or hats, she's really like, I assume that she is, would hook them up with like the fan advocate and tell them out, how do we, it's like, if we use gift cards for the fans to get folks in, something like that, if students need, or is that already like covered, or?
So yes, but it sounds like that stuff is already covered. I mean, she was like, we got way too much stuff from you guys. Like, we're good, but we don't.
Which is great, yeah.
Yeah,
which is
oh,
great, yeah.
absolutely.
Perla's office is full of storage that has different sizes of the various clothes, shoes, boots, gloves, hats, that kind of thing. So she gets that from various sources. But the gift cards are a little bit tricky because it was donated for a family in need.
Yeah.
And so then it can't be used to purchase
Okay.
items that a family needs. It has to follow a certain process for them. We got in trouble last year for housing the gift cards. So gift cards are just kind of a tricky thing.
Yeah.
Mostly, I think, because it can just disappear without anybody
Yeah.
knowing where it went and what it was used for.
Yeah.
And so we had to make a real clear line of like, okay, we can't even interfere. We can't touch the gift cards. They go straight from PTO straight to FAN.
Okay.
So if FAN isn't able to use them, I think probably we would wait for next year.
They're on Spire, the gift cards. So sometimes they.
That was, yeah, Ashley Erdl just chimed in and asked that exact same thing. Like, is there an expiration date on any of the gift cards that we know of?
No, not that I am aware of.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll just keep them for next year for Giving Tree. And then just one other thought, you're probably gonna say no, but there's the list for clothes of the food.
So that's from Kayla. She talked to me about setting something up. So that's like an emergency clothing for students that have accidents just in school. And they're like, oh, I just need a quick change of a shirt or something like that. And I didn't have extra clothes on hand. Kayla asked if we could just put something out so parents could, if they wanted to buy like a pack of shirts or a pack of sweatpants or something like that, the office could have clothes on standby for a student that needed something.
We know how. They came to me at the beginning of the year and said, underwear and shirts. Was like the thing that they go through. Just like your one thing once, because that's whatever. Those are the two things. We could use the gift cards for the underwear and the shirts.
Just throwing it out there for everyone. I mean, if they're closed during the day, we have it up there.
Right.
Not maybe.
Yeah, it was just socks and, or sorry, underwear and shirts that you do that for. Okay, so we'll just save those for next year then. The next one, Jesse, I'm gonna have you go over this.
Yep.
I just want to remind you guys, so as far as the voting procedure goes, we'll listen to Jesse, do his spiel on the teacher request. We'll get a first and second motion for him, and essentially what that means is that we want to open this up to discussion. Once we get that first and second motion, we'll have the discussion, we'll talk about it, and then we'll say all in favor, raise your hands, and then all opposed, raise your hands, and then we'll call whichever way it goes.
So last year, we approached the PTO with the idea of getting soccer goals. We kind of tied that with, do we want to get soccer goals or would we want to get a dog ball pit for this playground over here? We surveyed students at the time and they were 100% towards a soccer goal. And so the PTO looked at that and we helped pick that out. So we ended up with 2 full-size soccer goals on this field. For a little while, they weren't being used as much as I expected them to. And when I talked to students, I discovered that it's because I had put the goals too far apart and they were exhausted trying to run the whole field. So like if you could move it in about 30 yards. So I moved it in and it's used every single lunchtime and they play nonstop, but they have teams and they're very, very into it and they've gotten better about slide tackling. I approached Jessica with the idea of would we or would you as PTO be interested in getting another set, maybe a smaller set of goals for this field, because only fourth and fifth grade get to use that field and the kids think after school. And the reason is because that's a smaller, outdated playground, and we usually use the field over here, but it has way, way more stuff. So when we were looking at do we get something for that field or that field, it was going to be loading on everything onto that field, and this one would be sad. And so by putting the goals there, that made it really exciting. But now for only lunchtime, fourth and fifth grade get to use that, and the littler kids don't get to use that side. So I approached Jessica. She's like, "We'll put together a thing." And when I looked up the prices, she and I were texting, and she was like, "Am I reading that right? The big full size goals are on sale and are way cheaper than the smaller 6 foot by 8 foot goals or 9 foot goals." And they were on sale. So my proposal would be to get another set of the 2 goals like we have over here for this field. One of the concerns we had when we first got those goals was would the grounds crew still be able to mow through that area? And by using sandbags that hold down the goal so that they don't fall over, then the crew can just use sandbags, move the goal out of the way, mow, and then move it back into place. So we have a spot that I've looked at on that field. If you're familiar with our playground, we have a baseball diamond over here, Seams Field. Then we have a baseball diamond in the middle. And off to the right of that is a big empty space that actually has a flat fence on one side and then a straight fence on the other side. There's nothing there right now. It would be in the way of any of the t-ball or baseball or teams that are playing. And that would be the ideal place, far enough away from goal or from fences that if a kid misses the goal, I'm not going to kick it over the fence constantly. So I propose that we get 2 goals for that side and put them over in that area.
Okay. Can I get a first and a second motion, please?
Second.
Okay, we'll open it up for discussion. Does anybody have any questions for Jesse?
Are they the exact same goals that we got from over here?
Exact same goals. They are right now $1,234 instead of $1,000.
We're $700 cheaper. Well, the other one's $700 more. Yeah, so
Yeah.
cheaper. So makes sense.
So yeah, it would be the same
Is that
goals.
for the set or each?
That's yep. And when we first got those, they're light, and I had concern about how are these going to hold up, and they have been amazing. The kids don't hang on them at all. I was a little worried about what's going to happen if community members. We've had them out there all year. We even had them over the summer last year, and we didn't have any trouble. I was working and school hadn't started yet, and I had some kids come. And I had pulled them off the grass onto the bark chip area out here. And we had some kids carry them. So I'm in my office, carry them like 4 kids, carry them out into the grass. They played for about half an hour and they carried them back over onto the bark chips and they headed home. So it's become a really neat community item that adds to the playground.
Any other questions? Okay, all in favor, raise your hands. All opposed, raise your hand. Okay, it passed.
Right.
Sorry, question going back to the gift cards.
She just said the same thing.
Oh,
She wants to go back to it too.
yeah, so do we know exactly, well, first off, why we weren't able to donate them before Christmas? And then second, if we have to house them and the school can't be the PTO, do we have like a ledger of how many amounts, et cetera? Just so that we know, okay, we came in with $500 of gift cards, and next year we still have 500, or if down the line we vote like, hey, let's do 150 of this that we have here for whatever, then we can pull it out of the some kind of tracking.
Yeah, so we were getting this stuff kind of after Christmas.
Mhm.
We just kept getting stuff from people. And it all was given to Perla. So eventually there was just a time where again, she just had stopped. The problem is for next year, I have no control what the board is going to do next year. So they absolutely could use those gift cards for whatever they wanted. I mean, I could write a little note on them and be like, this is what the meeting voted on, and this is what we want to use it for next year. But I can't guarantee that the president next year is going to want to do that.
I mean, could we not vote to like, this has to be used for this and then it has to go to a general vote again?
We could, and I could write that down, but again, I can't control what the board does next year. And they could do it without you guys knowing. And especially because it's under, well, I don't know what the price is, but anything under $200, we can decide as a board what we want to do with that item. So I would think that the value would be under $200.
I'm not doing that. Info.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, I know that, the snack bags that were going home with some of our families was just recently stopped. So like, some of our families, movie families would get a weekend snack bag, so like a bag of food. And if we had those kids that, I don't know all that, but you know, I probably would tell like, we have 2 kids in the class, here they are, and then every Friday we get a bag of food and just put it in the backpacks, and so they were taking that home. And we just found out that that's no longer being provided. And so I just wanted to use some of the gift cards at Fred Meyer and like, I know those they know, but it, you know, so far our families don't even, I don't think they've even gotten communication about why they stopped getting. And it wouldn't last long, I'm sure, with
Right.
that amount, but
Right.
you know, seems like
I
it
didn't get the exact, that's over to. Oh, it is. Okay. So, yeah, well, and again, but they're separate gift cards. I don't really know.
So that was my question. We should make a vote. And also, I just wanted to share my opinion of like 27 board games. It would be great to like provide prizes for lots of, we don't have to spend any money on lots of prizes, but we all don't want that. That's fine. To make that, and we just go separate from each of them. I'm just gonna
I mean, I'm personally fine with doing that with the gift cards, because then we can ensure that we know what it's going to, whereas opposed to waiting for next year and we don't know what's gonna happen with it. I mean, I'm down for whatever you guys want to do with them.
except for that, she wants to extend that.
I think it would need to be the PTO would get the snacks.
Right.
Okay. And then we can get them on that
basically
way.
would bypass ban. We would
Okay.
use the same list
Yeah.
of students who
Okay.
need that support. And then we would
I
provide
like the
that.
idea. Instead of putting the gift cards.
And it probably wouldn't
No, I
go very
I
far,
like
but
that.
like spring
I
break
think
is
that's great.
coming up, and that's
Yeah.
where families in need are not getting our daily lunch, breakfast. So we couldn't do it every week, right? Throughout the
Right.
year or extend it. But I was thinking already like, oh, spring break, they're gonna be out. You know?
If we do decide to do this, do you mind just kind of emailing me like what you guys send home? Because I've never heard of this before.
Yeah,
So if you could like email like what you give, and then we can with that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is that fine with? Yeah.
Can I make a motion to use the gift cards for these snack bags?
Yeah. Okay. All in favor, raise your hand. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
and the board game.
Oh, board games. So you said there's like 28 games and puzzles, right?
I'll read you.
Or.
These are also from the Gideon Tree.
Spotted, chocolate cat, lots of video, lots of game time. Jenga, some ground, trouble, some puzzles. Maybe puzzle thing. And then get me note set, the hair set, and then we do soccer.
So that, we were hoping for, Lotteria to use that for gifts for some of those, not all of them, but some of those for like prizes. You guys are okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so I guess the next question would be, do we want to use all of them for the rest of the year to just kind of do for prizes for stuff? Because otherwise they're sitting up there, like you were kind of talking about with the gift cards. And I don't know what they're gonna do with them next year.
Hold on, Sandy, we can use them now instead of storage for Carnival.
Right.
And then we can maybe put a Christmas tree out early before Thanksgiving, so that way we can get everything before Thanksgiving comes up. So, something up in the attic and, yeah, the people get it. We can get the next PTO.
Right.
So,
Okay, so all in favor for using the games for just Lotteria? Or just anything in general for this year?
The other idea I heard thrown around was maybe a gaming basket.
Oh, for raffle? Yeah, that'd be cool.
If they were lucky.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Were those prices, what you were thinking of, those prices for Locadia for movie night or Locadia for Carnival?
moving it.
Okay.
Movie night.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, so just movie
We
night.
were hoping to make watching the. Hoping.
Last year, the lotería, last year,
Not the movie night, but the Carnival night.
so last year we did a Spanish movie and we did lotería night. And whatever gift we find out that, attic, we give them a surprise. So, yeah, we divided the two groups. So, that's good.
But we're still doing Locadia at Carnival?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, because that part that was crazy when I did it was people were coming in and out constantly. And so there was bingo like every 2 minutes. Bingo, bingo, bingo. And so I had to give out a lot of little prizes, but that's where Oriental Trading, like those little things coming at me, I would be cleaned out
Yeah.
really fast. There was no, people were screaming out. So.
You're popular.
Especially when they start winning, like everyone's just getting down to somebody else's card and they're like, oh, bingo. Yeah.
Okay, so all in favor to use the games for bingo, raise your hand. All in favor. All opposed? Okay, it got approved. Okay, next, I don't have anything else, so good to order, good of the order. Does anybody else have anything else that they want to bring?
I just need to go back to the soccer goal real quick. I don't know if you factored this into your price, but the sandbags, the whole, there's. You guys factor that, I think. that-
Yes, yeah, so the whole total would be $3,083.92. Shipping is $500. And then the sandbags are $19 a piece. And we
The gold ones, you get.
Yeah, I looked at the quick goal ones and compared, they were $67
they're
per.
expensive, yeah.
And some of them are already starting to wear out a little bit.
Okay.
And so by getting ones that are like $18 each, I think they'll last a similar amount of time. And it is, as a school or if you do a whole package of place and that's.
Okay.
Anybody else? Okay. Adjournment at 6:51. Thanks, guys.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do you want to get them now? Just so you have. Well, let me show you where they are. They're not off, so we can grab them later.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. Hang on.
We were just saying last week.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah. We all.
Elena was talking about it at home, and so Wyatt had heard it.
Hey, Haley.